All right, babe, let's get one thing straight. This is real and raw relationships where we don't sugarcoat fucking shit. And I sure as hell am not about to hide behind my excuses or let you hide behind yours, okay? And who the fuck am I? I'm Angela. I am a no BS relationship coach and your unapologetic bestie who's here to shake things up for you because I believe that change is always possible until you're dead. So if you're tired of feeling stuck in the same toxic cycles, you're wondering why your relationships, whether with your partner, friends, or your fucking self, they feel like a battlefield, then you're in the right place, all right? This isn't your cookie cutter, just communicate better advice, right? We're dragging your patterns, your fears, and your limiting beliefs into the light. So if you are ready to ditch the toxic sides of you, own your worth, and finally build the badass connected relationships that you crave, then let's fucking go. Today we are talking about raising resilient kids and stopping the fight that we have in their battlefields because we're healing ourselves first, right? So let's get real, all right? Just humor me. What happens when you're watching your child struggle? Whether it's with their confidence, their insecurities, or being made fun of, right? It's hard to deal with as moms. What happens is we want to fight. We want to protect them, right? I've been there. And let me tell you, it wrecks you. It doesn't only wreck you, it wrecks your children. But here's the thing we don't want to hear, right? These are the things that we want to do. And what we don't want to hear is that we can't protect them just by stepping in and fixing everything for them, telling them, who said that about you? I'm going to go fight them, right? I'm going to go handle this. I'm going to go talk to the parents. I'm going to deal with this. Don't you worry your pretty little head, right? So real protection, it comes from raising them to be strong enough to handle it on their own. And in order to do that, we have to handle our own shit first, right? So we can't just fix everybody else's shit, which is what we love to do, until we fix our own shit. So today, we are actually going to be diving into something that is deeply personal, okay? I'm going to talk about my daughter's experience of being teased about her teeth, all right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how it's impacted her confidence and boundaries, and how as moms, we often try to protect our kids from their pain because we're still, in fact, carrying our own pain. But here's the wake-up call part of it, right? If we don't deal with our own insecurities, we're just passing them down, aka intergenerational trauma. And we're not about that. We're about breaking that, right? Breaking that cycle. So let's break the cycle. Let's teach our kids to thrive instead of just survive, and instead of needing us. Okay? So let me start out with telling you a little about that story, all right? Let me tell you about the pain that's associated with watching your child struggle. So I'll never forget when my daughter came home and she told me she was made fun of at lunch because of her teeth. My heart literally shattered inside into a million fucking pieces. She told me that, get this, she even told me that one kid said they didn't want to sit with her because her teeth scared them. I was like, who the fuck? Our initial reaction, right? I'm going to protect you, babe. Fuck that, right? It scared them? Are you kidding? Can you imagine hearing that as a kid? As a mom? I literally was ready to march into the cafeteria, find that kid, and, well, you know the rest of the story, right? Let's just say it wasn't going to be a pretty sight, right? We don't want to catch a case, though. So what I had to do was I had to realize that my reaction wasn't just about her. It was about me. It brought me back to all the times I felt rejected, when I felt like I wasn't good enough. Instead of focusing on what she needed, I wanted to protect her in the way I wish someone had protected me. But that's not what she needed. That's what I needed and never got, right? She didn't need me to fight her battles. She needed me to teach her how to fight them herself, how to communicate without trying to jump into the fucking boat with her. All right? So here's the problem with overprotecting, because that's what it is. It's our parent trap. We get trapped in this overprotecting, overwhelming need, right? Because as moms, we want to shield our kids from every hurt, every insult, every bad day that they have. But if you're really being honest, when we do that, we're not actually fucking helping them. We're teaching them that you can't handle this, that they need us to step in because they're not strong enough on their own. And then we're wondering why we feel so exhausted, why we feel this need to protect them, and why they can't handle anything and end up not being able to emotionally deal with anything. It's not protection. You are disempowering your children, because the real root of the issue, if we're being honest, a lot of that overprotectiveness comes from our own wounds. It comes from the pain we haven't healed yet, the rejection we're still carrying, the times we felt powerless. We don't want our kids to feel that way, so we overcompensate. But the truth of that, our job isn't to erase their pain. You can't erase it. It comes back up, as we've already seen in our own fucking wounds, right? We need to guide them through it. We need to teach kids resiliency. We have to reframe their pain and rejection instead of push it away and say, don't worry about that, right? So what I did was I sat my daughter down. I said, listen, what that kid said about your teeth, that says more about them than it does about you. And I know it hurts, but their words, they can't define you. They can't define you. They only have the power that you give them. So what matters is how you actually see yourself. It wasn't about fixing her feelings or telling her to ignore it. It was about helping her actually understand that rejection is a part of life, but it doesn't define her worth. Our generation, just didn't learn that rejection is a part of life, right? And that it doesn't define our worth. We have to model the confidence before we can expect them to have any confidence. It's learned behaviors. If I'm being really honest, I realized I had to check myself too. Check myself before I wreck myself. Just kidding. But how could I teach her confidence if I wasn't modeling it myself? So I started being more mindful of how I talked about myself around her. This whole like, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I remember when I was made fun of. We just talk about all these past experiences and we never actually get to the heart, right? So no more, I look awful today, or I'm so bad at this. Instead, what I started saying was, I'm proud of myself for trying, or I'm learning, and that's okay to learn. I made a mistake. and I'm going to learn from that. They absorb everything we do, babe, whether we like it or not. Your kids don't just see what you want them to see. They see those things that you are terrified of them seeing. If you want them to see their worth, you have to see yours first. You have to set boundaries. And if you don't know how to set boundaries, then just wait, okay? Because I taught her about boundaries, not just with other people, but with herself. Now, when she starts to feel insecure, I remind her to challenge those thoughts. This is what I'm talking about. Is this true, or is this just a story I'm telling myself? And when it comes to other people, I've encouraged her to use her voice because that's what it's there for. That's not okay to say to me, or even just walking away from people who don't actually respect her or her time. See, how can we do that? How can we tell them to do that if we don't fucking do that? We get all hot and bothered and want to fight people, right? You have to learn, heal yourself so you can help them figure out your own boundaries. The cycle stops with you. But the raw truth, if we don't heal our own wounds, we're just passing them down to our kids because you're still carrying trauma from your great-grandparents. The insecurities, the fears, the self-doubt, they don't disappear as you've fucking seen in yourself. They show up in how we parent, how we react, and how we model behavior. So if you want your kids to actually thrive, it has to start with you. So how do you start this healing? Angela, how the fuck do I even do this, right? First, identify your triggers. Ask yourself, what situations with my kids make me feel the most reactive? Chances are, those are tied to your own resolved pain. Seriously, your kids are resilient. You just don't give them the chance. You have to challenge your own beliefs. What lies about yourself are still being held onto? I'm not good enough. I have to be perfect. I can't handle rejection. Whatever it is, I want you to write it down. Start working to replace it with the actual hard, real and raw truth. Get support. You don't have to fucking parent on your own. Healing isn't a solo journey. Whether it's therapy, a coach, or even just a friend who gets it, find your support system. You don't have to do this alone. Hence why I have a whole community of women and we meet on bi-weekly coaching calls because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're learning it together. It's about empowering yourself for your kids so that your kids can then empower others. Now, at the end of the day, our kids, they don't need us to be perfect. They don't need us to be magnificent. They need us to be fucking real and communicate. They need us to show them what it looks like to face pain, to set boundaries, to know your worth, to be vulnerable, and to keep going even when it's hard. And the best way to teach them is by doing it ourselves. So I actually have a challenge for you this week. This week, I want you to do two things. One, this is not going to be easy. I want you to I want you to let your child handle one hard situation on their own. You can support them, but do not step in. Do not speak for them. You give them the opportunity to have their voice and figure it out. And all you are is a supporting guide, like fucking Mr. Miyagi, okay? The second one is I want you to identify one belief or wound from your past that's still affecting how you parent. Write it down. sit with it, and then start working on it, because breaking the cycle, it starts with you. I could say it over and over again, but we want so badly to fix everyone else because everybody else is the problem, right? And we are still unwilling to accept where we have been the problem. So your kids, look, they don't need you to protect them from the world. They need you to prepare them for the world. And that starts with you stepping into your power so that they can step into theirs. It's not easy. It fucking sucks. And you're going to want to punch a baby. Not literally, figuratively. But it has to happen if you want to make the changes in your life for you, but also for your kids. They can't respect you if all you're showing them are your unhealed wounds and your unmet needs. So start today, because why? Because you have to get real, get raw, and get the fuck over it so that you can shift your confidence and be the badass individual that you want to be for yourself and your loved ones. All right, babe. I'll see you next time.